All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sports Ethos Fantasy NFL Today show. I am your host Jacob Dunn, and I am not alone today. I have Jon Mosales and Anthony Quarantana. Guys, how's it going today?
Going good. Happy to have the gang back together.
Yes.
I was having to pull some weight last week. No, we had Max on, who was great. Nathan was great. It was a fun show, but nothing like having the gang back. Anthony just had a kid. Congrats.
Yeah, hey, thank you. As always, I'm just happy to be here. Kid's doing great, mom's doing great for all those that care. But yeah, just happy to be back talking ball.
Okay, yeah, we got London game cooking right now. Anything happening? I got some bets on here. So any big plays? Does anyone have the game on the side TV?
I do.
Great.
I don't know if you can see it this time. I've got it on. It's in a commercial at the moment, but Brian Thomas Jr. scored a touchdown.
Yep.
And so did JaMycal Hasty.
Yeah, he broke a couple tackles. Well, Jacob, what's been going on? I feel like you've been gone 2 weeks. You've been traveling.
I was gone last week. Yeah, I've been traveling. I went to Vegas to see my family because that's where I was born and raised. So shout out to everyone watching from Vegas. It was a great time. But I was missing you guys for sure. So I am pumped to be back and to help everyone win their week. So
yeah, week 7. I was tweeting about this bangers. I mean, I don't remember. This is the best week of the season, right?
Oh yeah. Right. A lot of good matchups. There's just a lot to uncover here. So I'm happy to go over it with you, gentlemen.
Okay, yeah, let's just break in. So we got this London game. Who's like I know Brian in his model was saying Thursday Tank Bigsby was his RB3.
Whoa,
that's not working out too well.
Yeah, I was a little bit more on the skeptical side of Bigsby, even with ETN out, just because the Patriots do have a solid run defense. So, I had him as a low-end RB2. He's probably on his way to those numbers, but if he finds the end zone, like the defenses start to slow down in the second half, he could rip off a big one because he's done that a few times. So you never know.
Yeah, I did the running back rankings this week, and he's leading the league in yards per carry. And the Pats run D is kind of what's fake, or what's the clever word for it? Right? They've been getting gashed. They gave up 41 points last week, right? Their defense is in the red zone all the time. It's supposed to be good, but I think it's a little more vulnerable than we previously thought.
I didn't realize how much time is left in this game too. There's still just under 7 minutes in the second quarter left, so there's still plenty of time for Bigsby to get it going.
Yeah, there we go.
Absolutely.
Let's play my favorite game, Anthony. Start 3 players from this game. Let's say you can go back in time. I hadn't started yet.
Okay, so the obvious 2 are Brian Thomas Jr. and Evan Ingram. Those are the 2, I think, on the Jaguars that seem to be the guys that are going to be the focal point of the offense. And then when ETN comes back, sure, I'm sure he's going to take over the running back snaps again. So I'm definitely going to start those 2. And then I think, honestly, I probably would have started Ramondre Stevenson. I did in a few leagues. It's not looking good, and I immediately regret it. But the Jaguars have a really bad run defense. They give up a ton of points to fantasy running backs.
No, they have a good run D.
Do they?
Do they?
Am I mistaken on that? Oh, man.
I know that the Jaguars defense as a whole has been struggling. They've been giving up a lot of points to the quarterback position. I think they're... But let's look at the running backs. I'll check that out right now.
I'm just going off of. I was looking on the ESPN app, and it would look like they were 32nd. I thought against the running backs.
Well, they're actually giving up the 5th most fantasy points to the running back position, John. So I don't think they have been. That's the Jaguars, but the Patriots have been giving up the 4th most.
Yeah.
So on paper, this should be like a running attack game, and that's just not been the case so far.
Trevor Lawrence, 60-yard bomb. I just got the sleeper update.
Yeah, it was to Brian Thomas Jr. actually.
Yeah,
Brian
let's
Thomas,
go.
Yeah.
BTJ.
With that said, Ramondre Stevenson, I think, would have been the 3rd guy just to kind of mix up teams. Bigsby's also on paper was a really good start at the beginning of the day. Still could be. But just to switch up teams and not go 3 Jaguars, just to get back to the question, Ramondre Stevenson would have been the 3rd one for me. But it looks like they're Antonio Gibson is getting a lot of run in this game too. So that might turn into a real running back by committee now and just be kind of gross for fantasy all around.
Okay, that's cool. Good to hear that Gibson's producing because he got hurt earlier in the game. Did you see that, Anthony?
Yeah, I did. He came back like a series or two later. He got hurt. Ramondre Stevenson had a couple carries, and then they put Michael Hasty in and got the touchdown reception. So
which helped no one apart from super deep leagues. That's for sure.
Right.
except Drake May got the touchdown, so that's nice.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
So Jacob, let's talk rookies. It's been kind of the rookie takeover here. So we got rookie wide receivers. Let's say I love going back in time, fake time machine, DeLorean. If you're like, where are you drafting rookie wide receivers? What are you doing?
Let's see. Brian Thomas Jr. might be up there for me. Like Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't have the same clout as he did at the beginning of the season, but I still think I would take him in the third round, third or fourth round, because there's still that upside, and he is the wide receiver 1 in Arizona.
Would you rather have Marvin Harrison or Brian Thomas Jr. right now?
It's tough because Lawrence hasn't looked fantastic, but he has been able to get the ball to his receivers, like to his top 2 dogs and Ingram. So I think I would still go Harrison, but I would be nervous. I would be a little nervous, but I just trust like the Cardinals don't have as many mouths to feed than Jacksonville, and I trust Kyler more than Trevor. But it's crazy though, because it's a coin flip. Like, it's super close. What do you think, Anthony?
I think I lean Marvin Harrison Jr. because of the role, as well as he was the best prospect, I think, coming out. So I lean Marvin Harrison Jr., but I wouldn't be upset if somebody came out and said, "Hey, look, I'd rather have Brian Thomas Jr. over Marvin Harrison." I think it's that close.
Right.
I'd rather have Malik Neighbors would be my first rookie wide receiver taken if we had a redraft, and I think that's probably consensus at this point.
Yeah. No, the Neighbors is where would you take him? Like, let's say we're not taking him before the Chase Jefferson, right? Not AJ Brown, but so DK Metcalf or Malik Neighbors. What are you doing?
Malik Neighbors. I think he's definitely higher than that. I think Neighbors would, just off the top of my head, would probably be a top 10 drafted. If you could start over in redraft leagues, I think he'd be a top 10 receiver off the board.
Michael Pittman or Malik Neighbors?
Malik Neighbors.
John, come on.
Unfortunately, I see what you did there, but
yeah, that was Anthony's boy.
Unfortunately for me, you're not gonna let me live that one down all season. But yeah, man, Michael Pittman has been such a disappointment. But it's Malik Neighbors for sure. Bigsby got a touchdown, by the way.
Yeah, Bigsby. I got Russ Garrett, so the 1 yard TD doesn't help me, but game script wise it does. So
yeah, we go. Sure.
And I got the total, so I'm cooking with gas.
The over's looking good now.
Especially Justin. So Jacob, let's just stay with rookies here. We got QBs, right? Also, the QB's crazy, right? Rank me your rookie QBs for fantasy right now.
Well, that I have to put my guy Jaden Daniels at number 1, and it's not close for me. Jaden Daniels had QB3 through the first 6 games of the season, just ultra efficient, setting records for completion percentage, just going ham this season. And then after that,
well, let's see. I'll stay on Daniels for a second. So what's the surprising part for you there? Is it the completion percentage? Because he's really only got the one weapon.
The surprising part is, like, I've watched most of his games, and he just looks poised out there. He looks like a veteran. Like, like if they were to tell me that was Lamar Jackson, like a few years ago, like he got traded to the Commanders, it would not surprise me. He looks a lot like Lamar Jackson. I know that's probably a lazy comp because everyone's been doing that because they have similar skill set, but it's just true. And I don't like to talk hyperbolically, but Daniels could be the next Lamar Jackson, and he could be even better with his precision passing, which it took Lamar Jackson a few years to get that down. I think that Daniels is already there. So it's just Daniels is succeeding with Cliff Kingsbury, who has definitely dwindled down the offense to a point where his quarterback can grasp it and he can be successful, which is what all OCs should do. But it feels like all offense coordinators are lazy and don't want to adapt to what their quarterback offers. They just want to throw in their playbook, what has made them successful in the past, and the quarterback has to adapt, which is wrong. Like he definitely adapted to his number 2 overall pick, which has benefited Daniels, and plus a good running game has helped with Brian Robinson Jr. And Austin Eckler. And, like Zach Ertz has been a steady veteran for him, probably on and off the field, along with Terry. So, I just think they're doing something right in Washington.
So you think Cliff was out in Thailand drawing up new plays with coconuts? Go to the bucket and run a fade?
Yes. Sipping on some Mai Tais and just cooking up plays.
Okay, and then so Caleb, is he a long 2? Is he more of a 1A?
He is 2, but at the beginning of the season, he was like it was Jaden Daniels and then a huge tier down, right? But he's actually performing very well over the past, I think, 2 or 3 weeks.
3, yeah.
Yeah, 3 weeks. Like he's been forgive the pause, but I'm curious what he's been doing, because he's been the quarterback 9 and 5 and like 13 after being like in the 20s for the first 3 weeks. So there's a lot of optimism in Chicago. Super cool to see, because everyone loves to overreact and say that Caleb Williams is a bust after like 3 games. So, to those who didn't sell super low in Dynasty, like kudos to you, because there was a time where people just was like, he's a bust. Daniels is so much better. And now he's kind of closing back the gap with Daniels. I would still rather have Jaden Daniels in a Dynasty, but Caleb Williams is finally proving that he is this generational talent. So I hope he can keep that momentum going.
Anthony, what's more important to you, kind of talent or opportunity, right? Because let's say maybe Jaden's better than Caleb, or I guess is it that way? It's reverse. But I mean, Jalen's got 1 good wide receiver. Caleb's got 3, right? What system would you rather have?
I think that's tough because they're also both different style quarterbacks.
Sure.
Whereas Jaden Daniels doesn't need as many weapons because he's much better on the ground. Though, kind of to Jacob's point about Jaden Daniels' completion percentage, I know last year in college at LSU, he completed over 72% of his passes in the SEC. So he's definitely an accurate passer. And I think I looked it up and I closed the window by accident, but I think Lamar Jackson's completion percentage this year is like 67%. So Jaden Daniels is a bit of an more accurate passer than Lamar too. But I mean, I think as far as just in a vacuum, assuming that it's the same, style of quarterback, I think that having better weapons is more important than maybe just the opportunity. Because I think we've seen it on a few different occasions where a young quarterback, and the first one that pops into people's head is Josh Allen, right, with the Bills. He comes in, he's not really that accurate, struggling for his first season. They trade for Stephon Diggs at the time, arguably one of the best receivers in the league. Still probably is, but wasn't his prime at that time. You throw him into the offense, and all of a sudden, Josh Allen skyrockets. So I think it's important to have really good high-end weapons if you can, just to try to support your young rookie quarterback, guys that can get open, guys that are reliable in catching the ball, guys that run good routes. This way, it can kind of build their confidence. They don't have to throw a perfect pass to know that their receiver is going to catch it. And I think sometimes that can get in the way of the confidence for rookie quarterbacks. Is, you throw them in a situation, say, Jaden Daniels wasn't the most accurate passer. You throw him in a situation where it's Terry McLaurin and a 35-year-old or however old he is, Zach Ertz, right? He's going to have to throw every pass perfectly. So I think that having the more weapons, the better. So I like that setup a bit more.
Okay, let's just kick into week 7 here. We'll let some questions maybe brew in the chat. We got a lot of people watching. So if you got any questions, hit us up. Right, we're just working into the Sunday. Right, talking some football. We got games going on. We got lots of action. Jacob, give me your get everyone in game for fantasy this week. What's your I'm starting them just because of the game.
Oh my goodness, let me look that up really quick. I'm not prepared for that one. Get everyone in game. Let's go. Lions and Vikings looks extremely tempting right there. That's definitely on the top of the list. I'm going down. Hold on.
I'm going to throw in Ravens Bucks on Monday night.
Ravens Bucks, sneaky. I like that. I'm the Seahawks Falcons.
Okay.
I like that total. Nice dome game. I don't, none of the defenses are really or scare me. Gino's throwing for 300. But so Jacob, do you have a final answer?
So yeah, I'm my internet's being crazy right now, but I'm gonna go with the Vikings and Lions because the Vikings are coming off of a bye week, so you should think that everyone is relatively healthy going into this week. The Lions, I just think this is gonna be a predictably high scoring game, but you want to get every piece in here. Like in one of my deep dynasty leagues, I'm starting both Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. And I hate doing that, but sometimes you have to in a dynasty league, but I don't feel terrible about it. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, especially you got Aiden Hutchinson out there. I think both the rush defenses are pretty elite. So, right, we're getting a lot of passing games. What would Justin Jefferson's receiving yardage have to be for you to go under?
Probably like 108.5.
Ooh, I was thinking 125.
125.
Okay.
Right?
I like it.
I think he's got 140 each the last 3 games versus them. Right? There's going to be no pass rush. It's just I bet Jefferson. I bet him like 5 times. So I'm stoked. We're going to get a couple questions in a second. What's the opposite? What's the fade? Anthony, what's the get everyone out game? What game are we? We're not starting anyone.
Ooh, not starting any of that's tough because there's a lot of really good games. I think Broncos Saints would have been one of them for me on Thursday night, but we won't throw that one in there. It's tough because looking at the schedule, I mean, everyone has at least one starter, but I think the game I'm trying to stay away from the most is probably the Raiders Rams. Just looking at it, it's probably Raiders Rams. I think the only 3 that you can really start there are Brock Bowers and then Kyron Williams. And if Cooper Kupp is back, he's not. Yeah, you're probably just starting Brock Bowers and Kyron Williams and calling it a day there. So that's my least exciting game this week.
That means for the Rams with Cooper Kupp pretty much out, we should see a pretty decent game from Tutu. Yeah, nice. Yeah. I was just gonna say that Tutu Atwell. He's always, for me, the target when because there's no Kupp, there's no Puka, of course, like that. So Tutu's the safe play, but the upside play could be Jordan Whittington. So if you need some upside, he could be like what the heck flex. Let's just throw him in, see what happens.
Sure. I was big on Tutu. I remember Patrick Leary, he does our waiver wire, and he thought Demarcus Robinson would slide in because he was the wide receiver 3. But I remember last year, Tutu was great with Puka in the first few games. So I picked him up in my big money league, and he's really been saving my bacon. Full start away today. Okay, it's far away. We got a couple questions here. We got Dedonron. Pick 2 running backs. What's F full PPR? Is that what that would be?
Probably. Yeah.
Wouldn't you just say PPR?
Yeah, full PPR.
It looks cool. It's cooler to Don. I like it.
All right, Jordan Mason, Bucky Irving, Madison. Man, I'm not really understanding what's going on here.
I don't know what the under 26 sermon is. Unfortunately, if you want to follow up with that, Don.
Okay.
I'm just going to guess that it's probably a typo. So I think we got to pick out of Mason, Bucky, Madison, and Sermon. I think those are the 4, and he wants us to pick 2 in a full PPR.
2.
I think Bucky is definitely one of them.
No. Baltimore, man, they got top rush D.
Bucky kind of scares me. I'm just saying because like the coach is very much like, hey, we're gonna give all 3 RBs a shot. Whoever shines will get the carries. It's like, what if?
Forget about that.
Yeah,
like what if Sean Tucker gets lucky with like a 40-yarder, and then he's just the guy. Like I'm just scared. Like Bucky to me is the safest. So out of all these, like it's Mason. It's Mason 100%. Even though of like an injury risk, I'll still take that shot on Jordan Mason.
No brainer.
And then Madison, Zamir White is trending back. So Madison, like I'm kind of leaning away from him. Sermon, I don't trust. So Bucky would be like, I agree with you, Anthony. It's just that it's not so much of a slam dunk for me, but I would go Bucky and Mason.
It's close. It's just that Ravens rush team, man. They don't give up anything. But yeah, Madison with the PPR or Zamir White's questionable. Maybe I do that to get a couple key points.
In this situation, I know I just said stay away from this game, but in this situation, I would honestly probably go Bucky and Madison. Mason, I'm just so scared with the shoulder injury. I'm just so scared. I've heard that AC joints, it's tough after 1 week. I'm just really nervous about that.
Okay.
And they play a good Chiefs team. I would go Bucky and Madison personally.
Wow. Okay, fair enough.
I definitely understand I'm probably in the minority leaving Mason out.
Definitely in the minority. But I've had EC join. You can do it. He just can't reach up. As long as he stays his shoulders down, it's fine. So no stiff arms, no like little grabs like that. But they don't throw them anyway. So okay. And one flex, either from the above. So we got Dobbs or Leggett. Deontay Johnson had a rib injury, I think, on Friday, but he's trending to play. Dobbs is, Dobbs, but Wicks is questionable. So I'd say if Wicks is out, I'm probably going Dobbs, right? If Wicks is playing, I don't know. Do I trust Leggett? Washington secondary? That's tough. Jacob, it's tough.
I think I would go with Dobbs. He had such an amazing game last week, and he just is on Jordan Love's good graces. I just don't think I can bench him. And forgive me, what's his matchup? His matchup's a good one.
No,
yeah, I mean,
they're like top 4 DVOA.
Right, but he is at home. Like Green Bay's at home. This should be a pretty high scoring game, in my opinion. I can see it touching 50, if not a little bit over. So I think that the Packers will have to throw. I think that Dobbs is just a lot safer than Leggett because I just trust Jordan Love more. So I think I would go out of all these Mason, Bucky, and Dobbs.
Okay. Anthony, concur?
Slightly into Dobbs because the offense is better, but I really do like Xavier Leggett.
Are you the one who sent me the big Leggett right up in the summer?
I did not. I was not a fan of Leggett coming into the draft and to start the season. But with Andy Dalton, I mean, he's playing really well, and that makes it really close. But I mean, Dobbs is just in a better offense.
Sure, but game script, right?
But I lean Dobbs.
Carolina playing catch up.
I sneaky like Leggett too.
But you have to go Dobbs. Yeah, I think Jacob's right here.
Yeah.
Let's not get too. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's Jonathan Duarte. Is Sam Darnold a top 10 QB today? I don't know. Who should we ask? The QB whisperer. Jacob, is he a top 10 QB?
First of all, shout out to Jonathan. He's my guy. What's up, dude? Sam Darnold is a top 10 quarterback play. I have him right at QB 10. Yeah, he's coming off of a bye week in a very good matchup in terms of he should probably be in a negative game script. If not, it should be a neutral game script. So I think that he's going to have to throw all day today. Aaron Jones is a little banged up.
Is he playing?
So right now he's questionable. I haven't heard for sure either way. That's why I have Ty Chandler in a league. So if if anyone's like me, waiting for that, I would really love to plug him into my lineup over Bucky, just because I can't trust Bucky right now, given what the coach said about all 3 running backs. So I'm kind of just waiting for that. But if Jones plays, then Ty Chandler is nothing more than just a very, very low end. Jones is playing, Jonathan says. So
Well, thank you.
So,
our viewers know more than we do.
Thank you, Jonathan. So, yeah, I mean, I trust Darnold. He had an off game before the bye week in London, but I always kind of throw the London games out the window.
That was the Jets, though, right? So.
Yeah, and that's a tough defense, too.
Yeah.
So, I give him some grace there. I think that Darnold bounces back and delivers top 10 numbers today.
Okay, well, Anthony, since Jacob's got his list in front of you and he's going to cheat, who would you start, Sam Darnold or Jared Goff this week?
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold or CJ Stroud?
This feels gross, but I think Sam Darnold.
Yeah, okay. Jordan Love?
Jordan Love.
But
I think that's close. I like Sam Darnold this week. The Lions they just give it up through the air, I'm pretty sure. So it's
okay. This is
Sam
the one
Darnold's
where this is the clip I'm going to put on the internet. Ready? Sam Darnold or Patrick Mahomes?
Oh man,
that's easy for me.
Sam Darnold.
Oh my God,
Sam Darnold. Patrick Mahomes.
I like
it. Feels gross when you think about it. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback on the planet, right? And Sam Darnold is a quote unquote bust of a high first round pick who's traveled the league a couple years. He's hot this year. And Patrick Mahomes, great for the Chiefs, great for NFL. Again, the best quarterback in football. Hasn't been getting it done for fantasy. He's just losing his receivers left and right. They kind of build up that core. I really thought they were going to air the ball out this season, but now they've lost Rice and Brown likely for the year. So yeah, that feels gross. But Sam Darnold over Patrick Mahomes in fantasy football only.
Okay.
Right. You guys want to hear Patrick?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, do you want to hear Patrick Mahomes' finishes every week this year?
I do. I don't have in fantasy, so you can hit me.
It's QB 14, QB 14, QB 15, QB 17, QB 20. So not only is he staying mid, he's gotten worse almost every week. 14, 14, 15, 17, 20. And now he travels to San Francisco, which, it could be a high-scoring game if the defense is let up. But those are two very good defenses that don't want to make a mistake. And Mahomes has been making mistakes this season. So especially with no weapons, you can't trust Mahomes right now, and it's hard to bench him for sure. But if Darnold's out there, I'm definitely swinging with that upside, which is weird to say. He has more upside than Mahomes, but just fantasy a weird. It's fantasy football, right?
Jacob, this is one of my favorite little dilemmas. So who's your QB8?
My QB8 is Kirk Cousins.
Okay,
and I'm higher than him. Huh?
You got Darnold 10, Kirk at 8, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So let's say you have Justin Jefferson. Are you going to start Darnold to get the stack because Jefferson's going to have a big game, or are you going to play your numbers and start Kirk?
I think I don't know, because the last time that Kirk played, what's that?
So I know my answer.
All right. The last time that Kirk played at home, 500 passing yards. So it's very tough, but also that might not happen again, even though, the Seahawks defense is a little bit better than the Buccaneers defense, even though this should be a high-scoring game. I have Kirk ranked as such, but I think I'm with Anthony here, and Anthony can give his reasoning, but the stack is way too tempting not to go with, because I do trust Jordan Addison as well.
Okay. Yeah, Anthony, you're stacking all day.
Yes, I'm a big fan of stacks. You win by the stack and you lose by the stack. If you're wrong and the offense has a bad day, then you have a bad day. But in this, especially this week, I just think Sam Darnold is going to be lights out again. The Lions aren't the best pass defense. It's in Minnesota. I understand that the Falcons are also in Atlanta, but the Seahawks defense isn't bad. They have a pretty solid defense.
The run D is terrible, but I think they get Byron Murphy back.
Okay, sure. Well, Kirk Cousins isn't going to run the ball.
Be somebody.
Sure. Bijan might. And that could also hinder Kirk Cousins a little bit. So I just think that your rankings can only go so far. Obviously, if there's a huge difference, then you start the guy you have ranked higher. But when it's so close, I think you can really look at the construct of your team. And 8 and 10, you really have them finishing probably within a point or two of each other. If you're looking at it like that. So I like the upside of the stack every time if the rankings are close enough to justify it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I got Jefferson. Yeah, give me, I think Jefferson's going to have a monster. So, just I'll double up. Okay, let's move on to a couple questions and then we'll talk some more game theory. All right, Brandon, Juju or Whittington? Okay. Well, Juju is expected to play. So, he's probably wide receiver 1. Tredavious, well, I'm not going to get that right. Ward, the corner for San Fran. Yeah, he didn't play last week. I don't know if he's trending this week or because I remember that's what Jason said. He is good, but hasn't been good. And Whittington, Jacob, you said you like Whittington, maybe the wide receiver 2 or 3. But what are you doing? Actually, Anthony, you go first.
I'm going to start Juju. I'm going to keep this one pretty simple. It's a better offense. I know we kind of just talked about Patrick Mahomes and how for fantasy he's not getting it done, but for the NFL he is. I'm going to trust the weapon that just had 100 yards. I know he's coming off of an injury. Like John said, he's expected to play. Give me the number 1 receiver for Patrick Mahomes over Whittington, who could be the wide receiver. He could be the wide receiver 3 or 4, even with all the injuries in a game that I don't really like that much. So give me Juju.
Jacob?
It's tough because I really because I think that Juju has a very good floor, a very high floor. That was just 1 week that he blew up and stuff like that, and he could go back to irrelevancy or he could stay that way. I don't know, but Whittington got 10 targets last week as well, and he got about 89 yards. So if this is a PPR, they are both enticing. It's very close. My gut says to go with Juju. Niners.
Okay, yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, my gut says Juju. But man, if you need that upside, I would just I'll go with Juju just because if I'm looking at this and this is my fantasy team and I just need a safe floor, I'm going Juju. If you need some upside, then go with Whittington. I know that's the cop-out answer, but it's true.
Jacob, I gotta ask you.
I'm going to disagree double. I think floor, you're going Juju. Ceiling, you're going Juju. I mean, okay, here's what's going to happen. Right? Kansas City, what's their only weapon, really? Travis Kelce, right? Who's going to be on Travis Kelce? Fred Warner. So, I think, right, Juju's going to, right? Juju's going to get the target. Worthy's just a deep play guy over the middle. I think Juju's going to have a big game. I think it would be scary over who I would start him over this week. So, Juju Tutu. Now maybe we're talking, but
Juju Tutu.
I'm Juju all day. Okay, all right, Jonathan.
We are all Juju, but I am just slightly hesitant, and I still think I would go Whittington with the upside play. But Juju is the safe floor play that I would start.
Okay, well, we'll see. Somebody remind us of this. Who does better?
Yeah.
We'll go small sample size. All right, Jonathan, man, I love the questions. What's your take on Debo this week, right? I heard a pod saying Debo, right? Chiefs are very physical. Debo doesn't really thrive in these situations. Juwan Jennings is out, right? You got to think Chiefs really well shutting down wide receiver 1, so maybe Ayuk on the outside, right? Jordan Mason a little hurt, so potentially this could be a nice high usage game for Debo. Jake, you just agreeing with me finally?
So I was going to say, because Mason's hurt, Debo's going to get some manufactured touches. And we saw that when Mason went out of the game last week. Debo came in as the halfback. Most of the time it was a combo of Debo, Guerrero, and Patrick Taylor. So I think that Debo does get at least 3 or 4 manufactured touches. On top of, he should just be a great play because he's just a dynamic player. He's my wide receiver 14 this week.
Wow.
I think he finishes as a high-end wide receiver 2. Just very safe with upside.
Okay, Anthony, or like Debo. You want to play the Debo war game?
Yeah, let's do it.
Debo nice. Or Jaden Reed?
Jaden Reed.
It's a tough one.
Okay, Debo or Stephon Diggs?
Stephon Diggs.
I have them back to back. Yeah.
Okay. Debo or Amari Cooper?
Debo.
Okay. We're not going crazy Cooper yet. Okay.
No,
Cool. So yeah,
I do love Cooper, but not yet.
We all like Debo, but I think this is gonna be a low scoring game. I could see 14-10. I like both defenses. So it's shoot. Everyone's gonna think shootout, but these 4 o'clock deep games, they're always sneaky. Like when they play the Chargers.
Yeah.
So Jonathan says Juju had the taking the Rice roll, but he had a hammy issue last week. And nothing's better than that Rashee Rice roll, right? You're just getting these little quick slants over the middle, 8 yards, points.
That's fair.
Points.
Yeah, I would love that.
Okay, let's keep going here. Philip Balistrieri,
something. My guy Phil.
Balistrieri.
I don't know. I don't know. I actually don't know how to say his last name.
I think you're on.
Sorry about that, Phil. But
no, that's a good last name.
Okay, Jerry Jeudy, or Ladd McConkey. So McConkey's questionable for Monday.
Yes.
Is that what we're saying? So, what do you do? So do you guys, Anthony? So on double Monday nighter, does that make you more likely to take a bit of a risk, play somebody questionable because you could get a fill-in spot from one of the other 3 teams? Or are you just, I just want to know, and I'd rather just play Jeudy and get whatever he's going to give me?
No, I'm a little more with the second Monday night game. I'm a little bit more open to taking that risk if it's worth it. I just don't know if that's the situation, but you could probably get somebody decent as well. I'm sure Josh Palmer is probably even on waiver wires if it's not too deep of a league. If
Quinn Johnson,
yeah, I think I would wait for McConkey here. I'm just not a big Jerry Jeudy fan. I understand he's going to be a wide receiver 1, but I'm just not a big Jerry Jeudy fan. I think I'd wait for McConkey, and if he doesn't play, you can probably get Palmer. You can probably get Greg Dortch. Rashad Bateman if you're feeling spicy.
Michael Wilson.
Yeah, Michael Wilson, a guy I really like a lot. Yeah, I would wait for McConkey here, I think.
Okay. Jacob?
I could not agree more. There's just not a world where I trust Jerry Jeudy, especially above Ladd McConkey. I just think that Ladd's so much more safer, but there's a world where it could get even worse for Jeudy as he draws the number 1 cornerback on a team now, He was supposed to. What's that?
It's going to get worse? That's scary.
It could get worse. I don't see, I just do not trust Jeudy, and maybe he makes me eat my words, but even that sounded bad. I just don't think that happens. Watson just looks awful, as we all know. He just can't get the ball out. He doesn't look fluid back there. He doesn't look comfortable. So I'd rather go with the much better quarterback in Herbert. I understand that they love to run, but still, Ladd's going to get his 8 targets guaranteed. Now, who knows how much that'll be? That could be 50, 60 yards, but I just think it's much safer than Jeudy.
Okay, what about a little offshoot to this question? So let's say Jeudy gets the number 1 corner, and he's not a wide receiver 1, so maybe he shuts down Elijah Moore. Does that open up a little spot? Because I really liked him last year. I thought him and Watson had some good connections. Is there 16-team league? Let's say Sport Ethos. Are you starting Elijah Moore as your maybe a low end flex wide receiver 3 if you're if you got guys on bye week or something?
I think it's worthwhile. I don't know that I love it, but
if
you're in a 16-team league, I mean, those are that's the tier you're picking from. There's an argument for it, sure. You could probably do worse, but you could maybe do better. But yeah, I wouldn't mind starting Elijah Moore if you're in a deep league or have a ton of injuries or it's your personal bipocalypse. He's certainly an option. Right. I do like David Njoku though with Cooper. I think Njoku is essentially going to be the one. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Elijah Mitchell or Elijah.
Oh, Moore, and we haven't even. I'm sorry to interrupt, Anthony. Sorry, I just got excited because I think Nick Chubb's back. Right?
Yeah, he is.
He's back today.
So what's stopping the Browns from just running the air out of the ball? Because he's coming off an injury, maybe not, but like, why put the ball in the hands of Watson? Like when you have Chubb at your disposal. Chubb and Jerome Ford should run the ball.
I think Jerome Ford's out.
Right. So it's Pierre Strong. Sorry. Pierre Strong Jr.
Pierre not so strong.
I think that's probably why. I don't think you want to run Chubb into the ground week 1. I don't think you want to give him 15, 20 touches immediately.
Right.
And I mean, I'm sure Pierre Strong's a fine running back, but he's not someone that, you're really scared about on the other end of the ball.
That's fair.
So I think that's probably, that's why I think they'll pass a little bit more as Chubb gets reacclimated, though. Yeah, I think that, and Ford comes back. Yeah, they're just going to end up pounding the ball.
So let's talk Nick Chubb. He's my guy. I got him in my big money league. I've been waiting on him all season. I'm starting him this week. I'm stoked. Stefanski said they're going to be pounding the ball starting soon. But what do you think his yards are this week on FanDuel, Jacob?
Oh, I'm guessing that his over-under's probably at like 58 or 62, probably around
Anthony?
there.
Oh, wow. I was going to say maybe like 37 and a half. Just
38 and a half. 38 and a half.
38 and a half.
Oh, you were right on, Anthony.
Oof.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Nice one.
I think Bengals not very good versus the run. Watson sucks. So the only real worry is maybe Bengals go up big, or Chubb's on a snap count, right? But if he gets, what 9.5 carries is probably his number, right? He's just such a beast. I'm super excited. So Brian says here, assuming Bucky Irving or Chubb in the situation, I'm going Chubb. Am I crazy?
You're not crazy. I think I would go with Chubb too, just with the Bucs situation that we mentioned earlier. I just, it's so hard for me to trust a 3-headed backfield, even though that Bucky has the most talent, in my opinion. And he could show out. That's just a could. And like, hopefully cross my fingers. Whereas Chubb's probably going to start, like even if he doesn't get over 10 carries, he'll probably start. If he doesn't start, he'll get integrated in late in the first quarter. He could bust a 10-yard run. He could, he could even fall into the end zone. Maybe I would just rather take the goal line. Yeah. So I'll take a shot on Chubb, even though I'm a little bit nervous. I'll take a shot on him.
Yeah, I'd rather start him next week, but
right. Definitely.
I'd go Bucky Irving over Chubb.
You're Bucky Sizzle. Okay.
I would.
And I don't fault you for that.
Yeah, I would wait a week.
That nasty injury.
I would wait a week, and he's clearly profiles as the goal line back. I mean, just Nick Chubb. That's kind of what he's been his whole career as well. I mean, he can do it all, but I don't know that they give him a lot of goal line work because those are like the high leverage touches where guys are you're doing anything to try to stop them. Yeah, exactly. I think that those are the situations where you might be more likely. And I don't have any stats or anything on this, so maybe I'm just off base. But it feels like those are maybe the type of touches that can lead to more injuries, just because on the goal line, everyone you're fighting for every inch.
Oh yeah,
both offense and defense.
Just guys just flying in helmet, no
body slamming. I know.
Yeah, I'm real nervous about Chubb right now, so I'd go Bucky.
Okay, that's fair. But if Chubb looks, we'll see early. If Chubb goes 8 yards first carry, it's like, we messed up.
Like, oh boy.
Well, not me because I'm starting him. So Brian says Whittington, Trey Tucker, and Chubb need 2 starting, right? Cop out. I mean, I think Jacob's going to go Whittington, Chubb, and Anthony likes Trey Tucker. I know.
Yeah, I'd go Trey Tucker, and I would go. Yeah, if it's just between these 3, it's going to be. No, I'd probably go Whittington and Tucker, to be honest, over Chubb. I need to see it from Chubb first. That's
smart. I mean, I know Jacob's a big wait and see guy, right? You don't like.
I am, but I think I still am going with Chubb here, just for that off chance he does find the end zone. I know what you said, Anthony, definitely could hold true. Like maybe they don't want to risk re-injury. I just don't think they would bring him back if he wasn't ready, because like they've waited this long, even though Chubb said he was ready to go week 1 and he had that workout video, they held off. So I just think he does get that 10 carries. Hopeful. I just trust him more than Tucker. And Whittington, I guess I'm a Whittington stan here. But I think that he has a good game this week. Tutu and Whittington gets it done for the Rams, at least for fantasy. And then Trey Tucker does have that upside. We have seen him blow up. I would just rather go Chubb here.
So apparently Brian's playing Anthony in Sport Ethos, so maybe that's why Anthony's giving him the bad info.
He is.
Nice,
my
Brian.
team over there is falling apart.
I've been pretty dang lucky. I think I'm first place right now, but who knows? What's that?
You think you're first?
I was
too,
second
honestly.
last week, and I just reclaimed first place because Adam lost last week.
Yeah, nice.
But it's very close. That's a fun league, though. Like I've never been in a league that large, so I've had to start Alec Pierce 2 weeks in a row because of bye weeks, and that first week was great. He got like 22 fantasy points, and then he got 0 the next week. So that's what you get in a 16-team league.
I've had to start Roshan Johnson a couple times at running back. I did get the game where he scored a touchdown, and then the next game he got like 4 points. So that's what it is in big leagues. Yeah, I mean, it happens sometimes.
It's fun.
So let's do quick. What are the pressing injuries for this week? So Anthony Richardson's going to play, right? So that means we got to downgrade all the wide receivers. But what else? What else is there? Anything else that was
Jaden Reed is active. I know that.
Yeah, but Levis isn't starting. Levis is out for Mason Rudolph. So Jacob, are you starting DeAndre Hopkins or Ridley?
I could see Rudolph trying to force feed it to Hopkins, but just failing at it. I just don't trust any Tennessee pass catcher. I only trust Pollard and maybe Spears as like a low end RB3, but I still think that Pollard has enough juice, and they're just going to run the ball there. Spears I trust Pollard, but yeah.
Spears might be out again, right? He was out last week. I think he's out.
Yeah, I think he's week to week. It's going to be Chestnut.
Spears.
What's his first name?
Oh, Chestnut.
Julius Chestnut.
Yeah. Joey Chestnut. Just kidding.
It's not the 4th of July here. We're at the end of October.
And then I think everybody thought Cooper was going to play, so people probably took the Rams wide receivers out. But so where do you have Tutu? So Tutu or Jordan Addison, Jacob?
I think I would still go with Addison here because I really like that game. I like that matchup.
Okay.
But Tutu could be safer. It's just I would just rather get every piece I can from that Lions-Vikings game.
That's smart. Okay, what about the Wan'Dale Robinson? He's been a PPR machine.
I still think he produces this week, even with Neighbors back, just because the Eagles' defense is nothing special against the pass. So I think that Neighbors is going to go off. Wait, Neighbors is playing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so and Wan'Dale is still a low end, like a wide receiver 3 for me, but he does have that upside for PPR, so I still trust him this week.
Okay, Anthony, you're the Giants fan. Is Darius Slayton, was he just a two game bump and now he's done, or
no?
Are they gonna have a 3-headed monster?
I like Darius Slayton. I think he's been great for the Giants. I think he's been a really underappreciated guy around the league. Every team kind of has that the underappreciated guy that they love, and I think for the Giants, it's absolutely Darius Slayton. He led the team in receiving yards for a few years in a row. After they traded Odell, and there was just nobody.
Slayton's got game.
Yeah, I like him. I think he's a deep league flex most weeks, just because it's the Giants' offense, so there's only so many fantasy relevant players they can support. But I don't think he's left for dead. But I do like Wan'Dale a lot better than Slayton. I actually have a question for you guys for one of my leagues about a couple of the guys we're talking about. If you could help me out real quick.
Absolutely.
At the half-point PPR, Jordan Addison or Wan'Dale Robinson?
Ooh. Hawk's out, so that helps me with Addison.
Yeah,
I'd go
I
Addison because I just don't know what they're going to do. Neighbors won. Slayton's been really good, so all right, they like the 2 wide receiver sets. So I'd go Addison because I know he's going to be out there.
Yeah, I currently have Addison in, and that I was leaning him. It's a better offense. It should be a higher scoring game.
Yeah, like that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. Okay, just wanted. Sometimes you gotta just check and make sure that your process is correct too.
And there's a universe with the one I hope we're not in, where they just double Jefferson and Addison's got nice single coverage all game, and he could blow up game, right? I pray they don't do that because I got 6 Justin Jefferson bets. But you never know. So Brian says, while we're on that game, do you trust Aaron Jones' hammy? Does anyone? Is there a support group out there for people who've been burned by Jones' hammy? Right? He heard it last year, week 1, on like a 40-yard touchdown, and then never really was the same again.
Right.
If we don't know if he's playing yet, but are we starting Aaron Jones? Like, Jacob, Aaron Jones or Ray Davis? Like, how big a downgrade are you giving him?
Oh, I mean, I still think Aaron Jones is a low-end RB2. I think he's my RB24 this week. I still like that upside, and I'm scared of the injury. Don't get me wrong, but Ray Davis is the backup with James Cook active. I'm sure that they'll split carries. It should be closer to like a 60-40 split, but I still think that Jones. I don't fully trust Jones, but I'll trust him over Ray Davis. And just as a low-end RB2, like if he's in your flex spot, that's amazing. If he's in your RB2 spot, that's a little bit dicey, but I still think that he gets enough touches to get RB2 value.
Okay, Anthony. Well, we got Brian. Brian, just come on the show, man. You're just
right. Hop on, Brian.
Yeah, we could do a little modeling. Anthony, Tyrone Tracy or Aaron Jones?
I am going to go with Tyrone Tracy. I think I know Singletary's back, but I talked up Tyrone Tracy a lot 2 weeks ago when I was on the show. The Giants love him. He's performed admirably. Yeah, he's good. I think we can just say that now. And Dable said that despite the fact that Singletary's back, Tracy's earned a role. He's going to play a lot. He's going to get the ball. I think that we are seeing him take over the starting running back role. So I would go Tracy this week. Just because the Lions are a really good run defense, and hammies are always tricky, especially with an aging running back.
You could name running backs that I haven't even heard of, and I'd start them over Aaron Jones this week. That's where I am.
Okay, so you want to go with Imari DeMarcado or Patrick Taylor Jr.?
Okay, fine, you win.
All right.
But maybe like Isaac Guerendo?
Yeah. What about him? With Mason injured, he might work in a bit more. How do you Guerendo
I'm not starting Aaron Jones. I'm just not doing it. I don't trust hammies. Nobody busts the Lions. I think it's a passing game. It's same thing with with the Vikings, right? I'm probably not starting David Montgomery. I'm probably starting because he's still going to score. But Vikings how many touchdowns do you think the Vikings have given up to running backs without cheating? Anthony?
2.
Jacob?
That was my guess. So I'll go 3.
Yeah, 1.
1. Wow.
Right? 3 yards a carry. They're the best rush team in the league. It's just but
so you're not starting Gibbs either.
I'd start Gibbs because of the passing game, but I'm both are heavy downgrade, right? But
that's fair.
Montgomery scored in like 4 or 5 games straight, so
he scored every game this season. I think
Brian's jumping in.
Yeah, Brian, I'm looking at Brian's comment now about Slayton taking over the neighbor's role. I think that is probably in the right direction. I think Wan'Dale really kept his role. He might have saw an uptick in targets a little bit, but I think that he's going to keep his same role regardless. He doesn't profile as a 1. Not that Slayton does either, but Wandale is the Giants picked him in the second round that 1 year, a couple years ago for a reason. They really like him. He's gotten upwards of 10, 11 targets in some games. So yeah, I mean, I think he keeps his role even with the neighbors back, and Slayton definitely takes a downgrade. But like I said, I still like Slayton in deep leagues.
Yeah, you never really know. All right, guys. If you guys were wrestling fans, this is like when the guys from Raw jump on SmackDown. Welcome, Brian. Brian invading the Thursday.
Dude.
Oh, he's in.
Welcome.
What up?
All right, Brian. So I was telling him earlier how you had Bucky Irving, running back 3 on the week. Not Bucky. Sorry, Tank Bigsby. They all shook their head, but I know he's got a touchdown. He's got about 60 yards. He's cooking.
Sometimes you just know things.
So humble.
Right, Brian, if you're going to be on the pod, you can't watch the game.
I'm not. I was looking at my model. I just have it on a different screen.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. So give us some crazy model stuff. What do you got this week, right?
Not to toot my own horn, I did have Javonte as like a top 12 play this week.
Did you?
Yeah.
I wish I would have known that. I would have started him in one of my leagues.
Yeah, I made the decision to bench Flowers for Javonte.
Nice.
Which is
crazy. Super risky with a good matchup with the Bucks.
The model is cooking.
Ravens. Wow.
The model cooks, man. The model looks stupid, and then I look stupid after for doubting it.
Right?
But I mean, it ended up not being because I had the decision between Cup, Flowers, and I think somebody else, Devonta Smith. So I ended up just subbing in Flowers for Cup, but I do like Whittington a lot with Cup out.
Wow!
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian. You're on my
Brian,
team.
we're gonna have to league kick you out again.
It just seems like he's kind of like he has that role that Cup was in, and he's just young and kind of getting more and more experience. So that was my mindset there.
So you have him what for how many fantasy points?
Like 12.
12? 12
solid.
Good. Okay.
That's solid.
So let's play. So Whittington, like you're not starting him over Shakir, right?
I might.
Wow.
I might.
Wow, you guys are great. Whittington. Wow.
Yeah, I definitely might.
With Cooper, I don't know what that's going to look like.
No, exactly. That's the whole point, right? Okay. Whittington. I mean, you're Addison over Whittington, right?
Yeah, I do like with Hawkinson out, Addison getting another kind of pretty good game.
Okay. What else? What quarterbacks? Who's your number 1 quarterback?
Probably Lamar, like it is most weeks. Actually, Jaden Daniels over Lamar.
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
Let's
go.
Score
1 for Jacob.
Right?
Yeah, I got 1, 2, 3. Daniels, Jackson, Hurts.
Okay. So we got Brian and Anthony head to head this week in real life with the Eagles Giants. Does anyone any predictions there? Anthony?
What's the spread? Because the Eagles are probably going to cover it. I'm realistic. The Giants are what they are. Our team is we are a better team than we were last year, but man, it's just the quarterback is just holding us back.
Philly -3 in New York.
Yeah, I'd probably take Philly -3.
Okay, Brian, you gonna take Giants +3?
I don't know. I mean,
wouldn't that be something?
I have a teaser with the Eagles at like +4.5,
like
in case. But the Eagles could easily just like everything goes up in flames, and it could be this week.
So true.
I'm pretty sure Kayvon Thibodeau is out this week.
We have our left tackle out, so kind of
neutralize
that just out.
Yeah, Ojulari is still solid.
Malad is out. Lane Johnson's in.
Okay, Brian. So let's start three fantasy players from this game. Who you going with? Giants, Eagles.
I mean, there's a lot.
We only get 3. That's the game.
Top 3. I'm going AJ Brown, Neighbors, and Barkley.
Okay. Jacob, yeah, everyone concurs.
I mean, yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward.
I mean, Smith and Hurts are also pretty much auto starts too.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're picking 3, I do want to make a declaration, though. Saquon Barkley's first carry in New York he's going to get stuffed.
Probably.
Then he might go for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns after that. But carry number 1 is going for a loss in the game. Yep,
Okay,
Sexy
okay.
Dexy. He's going to blow him up in the backfield, snap one or carry one for him, but he might go off after that.
Brian, I love the model. Anything else jumps out at you? Anyone in the top 10 that wouldn't traditionally be?
I mean, I jumped in. You guys were talking about Darnold versus who?
Kirk.
A couple
Cousins?
people, I think. Yeah, that was a good one.
I have Darnold at like 6, I think. And
Wow.
Cousins at
Moving on up. He's gonna be QB1 by 4 p.m.
Yeah.
I
love his matchup.
Yeah, Arizona, I didn't see having a great matchup, so I had Kyler at 12, which is still startable, but I just think he's like not as much of an auto start.
Yeah.
So, Brian, you gonna apologize to me for me supporting Darnold all summer, and you trying to prove it with fake stats?
Well, because you told me he'd rush for 30 yards a game, which is like 500.
How many does he need today to get to that?
I don't know.
But yeah, fair enough. What else? What's your get everyone in game? What game are you starting, guys, no matter what?
I mean, honestly, whatever game Washington's in, I think that's Carolina, right? Like,
yeah,
I low-key love that game too. I'm with you.
Yes.
I low-key love that game.
Like, both defenses are pretty bad. Yeah, Washington's a bit better than last year, but you can go from really sucky to just sucky, and it's still better. Like,
yeah, so true.
Brian, talk me through. I noticed on your model, I was checking it out this week. You have, what's the tight end's name? Calcaterra?
Yeah.
I think you have him as a top 3 or 4 tight end, and I need you to talk me through that.
There's no way he does. Does he?
Yeah, I have him at tight end 4.
Yeah, talk me through it. That's I need to hear the reasoning.
I mean, a lot of it is
Goddard out.
A lot of it's Goddard out, and
thank God.
Hurts only really throws it to like his 2 main wide receivers, a tight end, and Saquon.
Right.
Like that's probably 90% of the target share every time, and I don't like giving Smith and Brown like both 35% target share just because they're going to show up as wide receiver 1 and 2 almost every time. Mm-hmm. So just balance it out, and then a lot of it goes to the tight end. And I mean, Calcaterra was open a good amount last game, and Hurts actually gave him the ball. They have that Oklahoma connection, which I think is a bit underrated. Ooh. He actually
does that factor into your model?
No, but it factors into if you actually trust him to like give him a target share.
Okay.
Because Dotson plays but never gets the ball.
Yeah, Dotson's
right.
And like
Cardio King
previously never got the ball.
Okay.
So it sounds like it's a matter of opportunity and situation. More so than the player himself. Could have been anybody, and they would have been a top 5 tight end for you.
I think the Giants matchup, I don't have like all the underlying data between their matchup. Let's see. I mean, Giants give up 75% of their touchdowns through the air. So
wow. Okay.
That makes sense. Our front 7 is really good.
So like that basically then is kind of divided out in between target share on if I expect them to get a touchdown or not.
Right.
So that average out just makes it so that any target, I mean, he's only a 13% target share, but those are just more valuable targets if touchdown percentage is going up.
Yeah, they've only given up 3 touchdowns to running backs. So,
yeah.
What was I going to say? QBs. I had a question, Brian, but I forgot what it was. I was going to go put Brian and Jacob head to head with your QB rankings.
Ooh. Well, it sounds like we're pretty similar so far.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because you said that you had Kyler Murray at 12. I have him at 13 as well. Just like I don't love the matchup against LA. And that was a lot had to do with Marvin Harrison Jr. I wasn't sure if he would clear protocol, but he did. So I might bump him up a little bit, but I don't know if I'm looking at the quarterbacks that I have ahead of him, like Joe Burrow, Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold. Maybe I might switch up Purdy and put him ahead of Purdy, but it's close because the Chargers have a sneaky good defense.
Or do they?
My thing with the Chargers was like, out of everyone they played the first 6 weeks, the only good team was the Chiefs. I think they played the Raiders. They played. I can pull up their schedule. We talked about this Thursday. Yeah, they played the
which definitely
Broncos,
skews it. Yeah.
Raiders, I think Patriots. Like they just kind of played
trash.
Yeah, combination of trash teams. So like, yeah, their stats all look great, but I am a bit hesitant.
Okay, I respect that.
But I like their D too. I think their defense is pretty solid, but it's like, when you see the passing secondary is like only giving up 197 passing yards, and they've only played backup QBs, and then somebody comes in and Josh Allen swings it for 350, right? So,
right, true.
Ooh, yeah, I think Patrick Mahomes is QB 16 this week.
Yeah, well, we said, were you here for the Mahomes Sam Darnold?
So that was the part I came in the middle of. I was seeing who you guys were in between with Darnold and somebody.
Peak right there. All right, we got a question here. Let's go. We got 4-man. Hopefully, we're not tied 2-2. Maverick Waterman. If that's a real name, that is amazing.
That's a cool name.
Brees or Pollard. I like this. Full PPR, 1 point for every 5 rushing yards. Okay, that's okay. That's crazy. That's cool. Brian, you're the new guy. Let's start with you. Brees or Pollard?
Brees.
Let's go counterclockwise. Jacob?
I'm going Brees as well. I would love to give a hot take about Pollard, but because I do have Pollard as like a back end RB1, but just the amount of touches that Brees is going to get despite a tough matchup, he's just much safer.
Anthony, I like the 4-box.
I will give an argument for Pollard.
Yeah.
Just because I'm sure that Brees is the popular pick, but the Bills, I think, are the worst run defense in football. Pollard has been really good with Spears out, especially.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much the Titans are really going to trust Julius Chestnut. I think that the Titans are probably going to play from down quite a bit in this game. I don't see it being terribly close. So I see a lot of Tony Pollard. He can catch the ball. I see a lot of Tony Pollard out of the backfield with the receptions. The Bills don't have a really good run defense. I think he's probably a lock to get his over on the rushing yards and a touchdown. So I think Pollard, there's a world where Pollard finishes above Brees this week, especially with Brees playing the Steelers, who are just a tough defense all around. And they got the Jets traded for Devontae Adams. I think he's going to be active. Aaron Rodgers might want to feed him the ball. There's a lot of factors into it. So I really don't think Pollard over Brees is that crazy this week.
I agree. Steelers 2 touchdowns to running backs, like 3.6 yards per carry. Devontae is going to eat in that target share, so Brees is going to have to probably get it mostly on the ground. The only thing that scares me, Pollard, game script, right? Bills are like 9-point favorites. They go up big. Right? Are they going to keep handing it off?
Some news that just came out. Mason Rudolph starting.
Yeah, we already. Yeah. I tweeted that at like 8:30 in the morning.
Oh, I just saw that.
So.
Yeah.
I don't even. Does that do anything for you with Pollard? For me, it doesn't really move the needle.
Not me personally.
The big thing is they're projected 16 points from Vegas, so it's just there's not many points to be had there. So again, like touchdown variability is kind of what is the hard part to predict.
For sure, but also it's kind of what they're going to do in red zone, right? Mason Rudolph isn't going to be airing it out inside the 5.
Yeah.
So I think also check down City. Bills giving up more, I think, receptions to running backs than any team in the league. So if you're getting PPR, right? So I like Pollard this week. I don't love Pollard because of game script, but I'd go Pollard over Brees. I just got an update too. Aaron Jones is healthy. He's playing. What are we doing? So Aaron Jones, who's starting him? Anyone?
I'm not personally starting him in any league, but I would trust him as like a low end RB2 or flex if you don't have any other better, healthier options. I mean, why not? He's a starting running back and he could stay healthy. There's a world. So I'm still nervous about it, but I'd still start him.
Okay. Brian, what do you have for Jones? Do you have to, was your model factored in? It was probably more of a timeshare with Chandler, right? It was probably like 50-50 at best.
Yeah. I mean, I had him because I did the model like Wednesday, so it's harder to kind of do the injuries.
Great.
So I have him at like, I don't know, running back 20, I think, or 21. So, I mean, he's a startable player. What I love is just that they dump it off to him, and he's good in the passing game. So, especially PPR, I like him as more safe. The only thing I do recommend is just, I mean, I hate hammies because you can re-injure that all the time. So, if Ty Chandler, if someone drops him or if he's on your waiver wire, just pick him up, leave him on your bench because I did that in the bye week just in case Jones didn't play, but he just had such high upside if he's the only running back in that backfield with Jones out. So it's a good, solid bench stash, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Did anyone know that Demario Douglas woke up sick?
No, he must have had the London flu.
He was taking anti-nausea medicine and an IV. Now he's questionable to return. Where was that update?
Yeah, I have no idea.
That's your
Teams
boy.
love to hold stuff from us, especially the Niners.
Oh,
screw you
so
guys.
Annoying. Oh, he had 2 grabs in the first drive. Okay, we're gonna wrap up shortly. We've been going over an hour, and I'm gonna find a ledge or something. Okay, let's go. Let's do some last words here. Anthony, anything you got? We didn't even do the bet segment. Sorry, you got give us a couple quick bets then. Hyper bets.
Yeah, that's fine. So these are from Nathan this week, as he did the preview. So I'm just going to go through some of his best bets and stop me if you want, but we'll just speed around it like we normally do. For this game, the early morning game, he had Drake May +2 passing touchdowns. He's got one. He's got the fourth quarter to get the second one. Darnell Mooney over 53.5 receiving yards. Like that. Tony Pollard over 64.5 rushing yards. I love that one. Cincinnati Bengals -5.5 over Cleveland. You got CJ Stroud over 8.5 rushing yards. That's an interesting one. I like that.
Okay.
Tyreek Hill anytime touchdown. We're going to trust Tyler Huntley against the Colts. Okay.
+200, I think. I looked at that.
And +190 when it was published, which was probably the other day. But yeah, that's not bad. Tyreek Hill could score from anywhere on the field. Jamison Williams over 48.5 receiving yards against the Vikings. Jalen Hurts over 36.5 rushing yards. Brian, what's your take on that? As the Eagles fan, our resident Eagles fan at the moment.
He's a good runner, but it's all like he's great in the like short yardage situations. That's where he's most useful. I don't know. I'm pretty hesitant on his over rushing yards in most. I mean, yeah, he only needs one, but I just think they're going to feed Saquon.
Right. Okay.
Now we got enough there. Sorry. Brian, what last words? Anything?
I like Kyron a lot. I'm trying to see his odds for scoring, but my model has him projected at 1.0 something, which normally I never am projected at least a touchdown in a game.
Okay.
But yeah, I have him as RB1 by a good amount. So
wow,
his anytime touchdown. I think
FanDuel touchdown strike. Oh, okay. And Jacob, I know we gotta go. This is our longest pod. Brian ruined it by coming on late.
I'm with you, Brian. I got Kyron Williams as my RB1, and it's just solidified in there with Cooper Kupp out. He's just going to get all the touches against a awful Raiders defense. So, giddy up there. I low key am excited for this Rams offense as far as surprising people, as far as Whittington and Tutu and Kyron, and maybe even Parkinson. We'll see, but I think they can put up some quiet fantasy points today. But Kyron's going to be RB1. I agree with that for sure.
Sweet. Okay, I love it. Anyone else who had Pop Douglas today, send me a tweet. We'll get the what's the suit when you sue a tort massive? Everyone sues together. We'll start suing FanDuel or Schefter. But because this is brutal, questionable return. I'm so upset. All right. Thanks, everyone. We went over an hour. Thanks, Anthony. Thanks, Jacob. Thank you, Brian, for coming on. If you want to come on every Sunday for a little bit, that's always fun if you're around. 4-man box. We'll get used to it. But, okay. Good luck, everybody. We got an hour and 15. Everybody knows the games are blurbing. And, all right. See ya.